I tie one last pink balloon to the fence post and step back to take in the view. For a moment I just stand there smiling, because the backyard actually looks a little magical. 9 pink plates sit on the picnic table, each one with a napkin folded into a tiny crown. The bounce house, the one that cost me $275 and made my credit card groan, stands tall with its pink towers shining in the October sunshine. On the dessert table, the cake from Nora's favorite video game waits patiently, 9 candles lined up on top like little soldiers. Perfect. I whisper to myself, even though no one else is around to hear it. I glance at my watch again. 11:42. Mom and my sisters were supposed to be here by now. They promised to come early and help, but like always, that promise disappeared the same way morning fog does. The sliding glass door squeaks open, and Nora twirls out into the yard wearing her brand new birthday dress. The purple fabric, her favorite color, sparkles in the sunlight as she spins in circles. Mom, is it time yet? She asks, bouncing on her toes. Then she suddenly freezes. Her eyes dart around the empty yard, looking for faces that still aren't here. Where's Grandma? And Aunt Kayla and Aunt Brittany? Did they bring Jaden? Did they see the bounce house? I force a bright smile. They're on their way, sweetheart. Probably just running late. Nora's face drops for a second. Then she rebuilds her smile like she always does. Okay, I'm gonna watch for them from the window. She runs back inside and I bite my cheek until I taste metal. I should have known better than to think they'd show up on time, or show up at all. The doorbell rings and I hear Nora's excited squeal from the front of the house. I hurry around to the door, but when she opens it, her smile falls. It's only Aunt Diane standing there, a wrapped present tucked under her arm. Happy birthday, sweet pea, Aunt Diane says, bending down to hug her. Nora hugs her back but peeks around her shoulder toward the empty driveway. Is Grandma coming with you? Aunt Diane straightens up and looks at me over Nora's head. For just a second I see something sharp flash in her eyes, anger maybe, before she turns and smiles softly at my daughter. I came by myself today, honey, but look what I brought you. She hands Nora the gift, beautifully wrapped with a bow that must have taken forever to tie. That's Aunt Diane for you. Always perfect with the details. Thank you, Nora says in a quiet voice. She hugs the gift close to her chest and looks at me. Mom, can I put this with the other presents? Of course, baby. The party's out back. When she disappears into the kitchen, Aunt Diane closes the door and turns to me. Marjorie and the girls aren't coming, are they? Before I can answer, my phone buzzes in my pocket. I already know what it'll say. Don't be dramatic. It's just a kid's party. We'll make it up to her at Christmas. My mother's words burn on the screen. Just a kid's party. Just my kid's party. I guess that's your answer, Aunt Diane says quietly. She squeezes my arm. I'm sorry, Riley. The doorbell rings again, saving me from having to answer. Parents start dropping off Nora's classmates. 8 little girls in party dresses carrying colorful bags and handmade cards. Mr. Green, my neighbor from across the street, arrives with folding chairs and a cooler full of juice boxes. Mrs. Harper from 2 doors down brings a tray of finger sandwiches and that kind, knowing smile she always has. For the next hour, I move through the motions of the party, taking pictures, cutting cake, keeping an eye on the bounce house. Everything looks cheerful, but it all feels far away, like I'm floating underwater. Nora keeps looking toward the gate. Her eyes brighten each time it opens and dim again when it's just another classmate and not her grandmother. When are Grandma and Aunt Kayla and Aunt Brittany and Jaden coming? She asks for what feels like the 10th time, tugging on my sleeve while I refill the snack bowl. I'm not sure, sweetheart, I say gently, smoothing her hair. But look at all your friends who came to celebrate you. She nods and skips back toward the bounce house, but her shoulders droop in a way that breaks my heart. This isn't the first time my family has disappointed her, and she's starting to realize it won't be the last. I think back to last Christmas when I maxed out my credit card buying gifts for everyone. $840 I couldn't afford because family matters. 3 months ago, I paid Kayla's salon rent when she came up short. $1,650 that I'll probably never see again. Riley can handle it, they always say. She's good with numbers. Good with numbers. As if that means I'm made of money. Ever since Dad walked out when I was 20, Mom has treated me like an automatic teller machine with legs. "You're the head of this family now," she told me the day after he left, as if I'd been promoted to paymaster. My phone pings again. I glance down and my stomach twists. It's a photo from Kayla's social media. Her, Mom, Brittany, and Jaden at some fancy brunch downtown, champagne glasses raised. The caption reads, "Family first. Family first. Sure. Mom." Nora's voice pulls me back. She's standing by the gift table surrounded by her friends, ready to open presents. I slide my phone into my pocket and plaster on a smile. "Coming birthday girl." She tears through her gifts, thanking each friend with genuine joy. But when she finishes, she looks up at me with watery eyes. "Did Grandma forget my birthday?" The question cuts straight through me. Before I can find the right words, Aunt Diane steps in. "Your grandma's got a terrible memory sometimes," she says, giving Nora a wink. "But that just means you might get a surprise another day." Nora brightens at the thought, and soon she's laughing again, bouncing toward the inflatable castle with her friends. Aunt Diane squeezes my hand. "This isn't right, honey." I nod, not trusting my voice. When the last guest leaves, I take a stack of plates to the sink and let the water run until it turns hot, letting quiet tears fall into the soap bubbles. Through the window, I see Aunt Diane and Nora crouched on the driveway, drawing a rainbow with chalk. My phone buzzes again. Another text from Mom. "Need $350 for a family emergency. Can you send it today?" The plate slips from my hands and cracks in half. I stare at the message at the timestamp 3:48 in the afternoon. Right in the middle of the party she couldn't be bothered to attend. Something inside me cracks too. A week after Nora's party, I am still thinking about that message from Mom. The one asking for money right in the middle of the party she skipped. I had stared at it so long my eyes burned. Something inside me had cracked that day. A quiet breaking that felt both painful and freeing. Now I'm standing in the kitchen making Nora's lunch. Peanut butter sandwich cut into triangles, apple slices shaped like a smile, and a little note that says "You're loved." It's a small thing, but it matters. My phone buzzes on the counter again and again. I wipe my hands on a towel before checking it. The family group chat. I sigh before I even open it. Mom's message shines at the top. Exciting news. Kayla's Sweet 16 venue is confirmed. $1,850 per guest, with Riley covering Grandma's share since she's on fixed income. Details attached. I blink. Sweet 16? Kayla is 26. Then Brittany adds a message. Mom means Sweet 26. We're calling it a second chance at Sweet 16. Remember, her real one was in that old hall. I open the attached file and almost drop my phone. My LinkedIn picture sits on a shiny sponsorship page under the words Platinum Sponsor. Riley Brooks. My head spins. What in the world? Another text pings from Brittany. Riley, you're the accountant. Just handle the deposit. Deadline this weekend. Not a request. A command. Mom. Nora's voice comes from the hallway. She's holding a little Lego spaceship. Can you help me fix this part? In a minute, sweetheart. I say, my voice sounding strange even to me. She nods and walks back to her room, her shoulders drooping. That look, small, defeated, makes my heart ache. She's only 9, and already she knows what disappointment feels like. When her door closes, I sit at the table and open my banking app. The number on the screen reads $4,213.47. Every bit of it is set aside for her braces next month. A pile of medical bills sits on the counter from when she broke her arm 2 years ago. The insurance covered most of it, but the $1,200 deductible had wiped out my savings. I even sold Grandma June's silver ring, the only family thing I owned, to cover the emergency room. She was the one who taught me how to balance a checkbook when I was 10. She would be heartbroken if she saw how her daughter treats her granddaughter. I open my budget spreadsheet on the laptop. Rent $1,025. Utilities $187 and change. Groceries $420. Car payment $315. After-school care $240. Every penny has its job. The margins are thin, but I make it work. Our small 2-bedroom home isn't fancy, but it's clean and safe. That has to count for something. Scrolling through old Venmo requests makes my stomach twist. Last month, $650 for Kayla's salon, Emergency. Month before that. $420 for mom's new patio furniture. Christmas. $844, family gifts. None of it paid back. Not one thank you beyond a quick thanks, sis. Mom has turned guilt into an art form. After all, I raised you girls alone, she always says, forgetting it was her endless spending that pushed Dad away. Kayla's salon bleeds money faster than she can color hair. But every crisis is temporary. Brittany can't stop buying things online she doesn't need. Somehow, their poor choices always become my responsibility. The doorbell rings, snapping me out of my thoughts. I'll get it, Nora shouts, racing to the door. I hear a familiar voice in the entryway. Hello, sunshine. Is your mom home? It's Aunt Diane. She walks into the kitchen carrying a casserole dish, her kind eyes immediately narrowing at my face. What happened? She asks, setting the food down. I just hand her my phone. She reads the messages, her mouth tightening. They've got some nerve, she mutters. After skipping Nora's birthday? They had brunch instead, I say flatly. I saw it online. Diane reaches over and takes my hand. Your mom's been like this since we were kids. But you don't have to keep playing her game. There's a knock at the back door. Mrs. Harper, my 71-year-old neighbor, waves through the window. I motion for her to come in. Brought you some banana bread, she says, then pauses, reading the mood. Bad time. Family drama, Diane explains. Mrs. Harper nods. Ah. She's been bringing me casseroles since Nora was born, quietly helping without judgment. She's seen it all. The nights I took time off work for family emergencies. The relatives who needed favors but never gave any back. Your coworker Evan called, she adds. Said to tell you he can cover your shift tomorrow if you need it. He wanted you to know he's returning the favor. Evan always does that, fair and kind. One of the few people who actually gives back. Mommy? Nora appears in the doorway, holding a piece of paper. Can I hang this on the fridge? It's a drawing from school, labeled my family. Just two stick figures holding hands, her and me. My throat tightens as I take it from her. Of course, baby. While I find a magnet, I notice the stack of thank you cards she made for her friends. Each one is covered with crayon stars in sweet handwriting. She put more care into those cards than my own family ever put into us. That night, after tucking her in, I pass her door and hear her small voice. God, please make Grandma like me more. Something inside me breaks all over again. Later, when I sit down at my computer, there's an email I wasn't supposed to see. One that the hotel accidentally forwarded to me. It's the signed contract for Kayla's Sweet 16, dated 3 weeks before Nora's birthday. They had planned it the whole time. They knew they weren't coming. I open a new spreadsheet. Every Venmo request from the last 3 years. The total makes me dizzy. $23,470. Then I pull up my calendar. 14 vacation days taken for family reasons, rides to surgeries, home repairs, babysitting favors, decorating mom's house. Not one day they ever watched Nora so I could work. I scroll through social media. There's mom posting another family photo. The caption reads, so blessed with my girls. They cropped me out. The anger that rises isn't loud. It's calm and cold. A feeling I've never let myself have before. For the first time, everything makes sense. I grab my phone and open Venmo. Tomorrow things are going to change. The next morning the world feels different. Not because anything has changed yet, but because I finally feel ready for it to. I sit at the kitchen table, the Venmo app glowing on my phone screen like a dare. My mother's latest message sits right above it. $1,850 for Kayla's Sweet 16. You'll cover Grandma's share since she's on fixed income. The words stare back at me, bold and unapologetic. My pulse drums in my ears. They skipped Nora's birthday for mimosas. They posted pictures and laughed. All while I scraped frosting off paper plates alone. And now they expect me to bankroll their party. Again. From the next room I hear Nora humming softly, her little voice wrapping around the tune of some cartoon song. She's setting up her stuffed animals for a pretend tea party. Each one seated just right. Each one smiling in the way fabric friends always do. I stare at my phone. Then I start typing. Recipient, Mom. Amount $1. Memo, congrats. My thumb hovers over the blue button. For a second I think about the years before this moment, The phone calls that began with, "Hey sweetie, I hate to ask, but..." The holidays where I worked overtime so everyone else could unwrap something shiny. The nights I told Nora, "We'll celebrate next week," because I had to bail someone else out first. Enough. I press send. The confirmation pops up on the screen, and a strange warmth spreads through me. I take a screenshot and save it in a new folder titled Boundaries. My lungs expand fully like I haven't taken a real breath in years. The kitchen walls don't feel as tight anymore. "Mom? Can we have spaghetti tonight?" Nora calls from the living room. "Absolutely." I answer, my voice steadier than it's been in months. By noon I've made 3 phone calls I should have made years ago. The locksmith shows up at 2:15. His name's Cal. A stocky man with silver hair and kind eyes who whistles while he works. He replaces both the front and back locks, his hands sure and quick. "All done, ma'am," he says, handing me 2 shiny new keys. Nobody gets in without these now. I look down at the keys. They feel heavier than metal, like freedom. While Nora naps on the couch, I open my laptop again. I build a new spreadsheet line by line, listing every dollar I've lent my family over the last 3 years. When I total it up, my stomach flips. $23,470. That's a car. A year of college. Braces for Nora with enough left for a small vacation. Something just for us. My phone buzzes over and over that afternoon. I silence it after the 20th text. For once, I don't rush to fix the storm. Instead, I draft an email to the hotel hosting Kayla's event. I attach proof that I never agreed to sponsor anything. Within an hour, the manager replies, apologizing for the mix-up and promising to remove my name immediately. I exhale slow and deep. By evening, Nora and I are sitting at the small kitchen table, plates of spaghetti steaming between us. The old portable TV hums in the background, playing a cartoon she loves. She laughs mid-bite, a dot of sauce on her chin. And for the first time in years I feel light. This quiet, this peace, it's enough. We are enough. The doorbell rings at 8:47. Through the peephole I see them, Mom, Kayla, and Brittany, standing on the porch, faces pinched with anger. "Riley Brooks, open this door right now." Mom's voice booms clear through the wood. I step back. The pounding starts. "Is that Grandma?" Nora whispers, appearing beside me, her eyes wide. "Yes," I say softly. "But she forgot to call first. It's too late for visitors tonight." More pounding. The doorbell rings again and again. "You can't hide in there forever," Kayla yells. "After everything we've done for you." My phone lights up message after message. "You're betraying this family. How dare you embarrass us with that hotel? What kind of daughter does this?" Through the peephole I spot movement across the street. Mr. Green steps out onto his porch, arms folded. The Lopez family peeks through their blinds. My mother's voice gets louder, shriller, but I just breathe. For once, I'm not the one apologizing. "Should we let them in?" Nora asks, clutching my leg. "No, honey," I say gently. "Remember what we talked about, how people should respect our home. This isn't respectful." Then, like a scene from a movie, blue lights flash across the living room. Police. Of course they called them. When I open the door, Officer Ramirez stands there. I recognize him. He coached Nora's soccer team last spring. "Evening, Miss Brooks," he says politely. "We got a call about a family dispute. Something about threats and property." Behind him, my mother stands with her arms crossed, righteous and trembling. "She's refusing to return family heirlooms," she declares. "And she's been sending threatening messages." I feel Nora's small hand grip my sweater as she hides behind me. "May I come in for a moment?" Officer Ramirez asks softly. At the kitchen table, I show him everything: texts, receipts, emails, the screenshot of my $1 payment. "I've been helping them financially for years," I explain. "I changed my locks today because I need boundaries. There are no heirlooms. No threats. Just me saying no." He reviews the phone slowly, his brow lifting every few seconds. When he's done, he leans back in his chair. "They're used to you handling everything," he says finally. "When you change the rules, people like that don't take it well." He steps outside again. I watch through the window as he talks to them. I can't hear what he says, but their postures shift, from outrage to disbelief to quiet retreat. Minutes later, their cars pull away, red taillights fading down the street. I lock my door, and double-check both bolts. When I turn, Nora is sitting on her bed, small legs dangling over the edge. "Mom," she says in a shaky voice, "am I not important enough? Is that why Grandma didn't come to my birthday?" Her question hits me like a punch. I kneel beside her and take her hands. "No, sweetheart. You are the most important thing in my world. That's exactly why I have to protect you from people who don't treat us right." She nods, quiet and thoughtful, her little fingers still gripping mine. My phone buzzes on the nightstand. Another text from Mom. "You'll regret this. Family is everything." I delete it. No reply. When I tuck Nora in and kiss her forehead, she's already drifting to sleep, her stuffed rabbit curled against her chest. "It's just us two," I whisper. And that's enough. That night, I sleep deeper than I have in years. The next morning, my phone buzzes before the sun is even up. 6:30 a.m. For one short second, I think maybe it's a work alert or a friendly message from Aunt Diane. But no, my stomach drops when I see the name. "Kayla Brooks mentioned you in a post." I open it even though I shouldn't. Her profile fills the screen. Photo perfect smile. Filters softening the edges of her world. The caption sprawls across the top. "When toxic people show their true colors, sometimes you just have to let them go. Some folks only care about money, not family. Blood doesn't mean anything to them." I scroll through the comments. 17 already. "So sorry you're going through this, sweetie. Blood isn't always thicker than water. You're better off without that kind of negativity." Each word is a pinprick under my skin. Not one person asks for my side. Not one wonders why I sent that $1. They just nod along, certain they know the story. I lock my phone and set it face down. The bedroom door creaks and Nora peeks in, her hair a soft halo of morning mess. "Mom? Are you okay?" I paste on a smile. "I'm fine, sweetheart. Just checking my emails." She believes me, thank goodness, and skips off toward the kitchen. When her door shuts, I turn the phone over again. My finger hovers above the comment box. Words swirl in my head. Paragraphs of explanations, proof, screenshots, every receipt in memory I could throw at them. But then something stills inside me. Instead of defending myself, I type 5 quiet words. "I wish you all well." Then I log off. The silence that follows is powerful, almost sacred. In the kitchen, sunlight spills across the counter. I pour cereal for Nora, make coffee, and check her backpack for homework. It's all so ordinary, but it feels like rebellion. The calm after a lifelong storm. The phone rings while I'm rinsing dishes. Unknown number, but the area code looks familiar. I almost let it go to voicemail, then answer anyway. "Riley? It's your Uncle Henry." I freeze. I haven't heard that voice since high school. "Uncle Henry?" He chuckles softly. "Yeah. Sorry for the surprise call. I heard about what happened with Marjorie and the girls." My grip tightens on the phone. "How did you hear?" "Small town. Your mom called me, probably hoping I'd take her side. Figured you should know. You're not the first person she's drained dry." His words land like stones. "What do you mean? Why do you think your father left?" he asks gently. 20 minutes later, I'm sitting at the kitchen table staring at a picture he texted me. Dad at my 5th birthday party. His eyes are hollow, his shoulders slumped forward, his smile strained. "History repeats itself," Uncle Henry had said. "She drained him for years. When he finally broke, she moved on to you." The ache in my chest spreads like ripples in water. Before I can even breathe it all in, the doorbell rings. When I open the door, Mrs. Harper stands there, holding a casserole dish that smells like heaven. "Chicken and rice," she says, pushing it into my hands. "The ladies from St. Mark's are bringing more tomorrow." "Oh, Mrs. Harper, you don't have to." She stops me with a small shake of her head. "We've been watching, honey. Some of us have been where you are. Family can be a blessing or quicksand. We just want you to know you're not alone." Her voice is firm, kind, steady. Before I can find the right words, she pats my arm and slips an envelope beneath the dish. "And we'll keep an eye out when certain cars drive by. Just so you know." Then she leaves before I can even thank her. I set the dish on the counter, still warm in my hands. When I open the envelope, there's a $200 gift card and a simple note that reads, "For Nora's needs." No signature. No expectations. Just kindness. The contrast takes my breath away. I sink into a kitchen chair. Tears blurring my vision. These neighbors, people who owe me nothing, are the ones who show up. Not with guilt, not with demands. Just love. That night, after Nora falls asleep, I open my budget spreadsheet again. This time, I calculate our life without the constant drain of my family's emergencies. The numbers change before my eyes. An extra $732 a month. $732. Enough for Nora's braces. Enough to start a savings account for her future. Enough for a summer trip to the lake where she can make happy memories that no one can ruin. My breathing steadies as I look at the screen. Then I open a new browser tab and search for savings accounts for children. 20 minutes later, I've opened one in her name with a small first deposit. It's not much, but it's a start. A seed. The next morning, grocery shopping feels different. I still check prices out of habit, but for once I'm not doing math in my head for every single item. At the checkout, I spot a bunch of tulips, bright, cheerful $24. Normally I'd walk right past, but today I put them in the cart. They'll look beautiful on our table. When the cashier hands me the receipt, I realize I'm smiling. A real one. That little splash of color in my cart feels like a promise. Life can be good, even without their approval. Saturday morning sunlight spills through the curtains, painting soft stripes across the living room floor. I'm folding laundry while Nora lounges on the couch in her rainbow pajamas, her favorite pair, though they're getting a little too small. She watches me for a second before asking as casually as anything, "Aren't we going to Aunt Kayla's party today?" The words hit me like a sudden gust of cold air. "What?" She shrugs. "The Sweet 16 party. I saw it on your calendar before. Taylor from school said her mom is going. She's friends with Grandma." For a heartbeat, I just stare at her. Then that old guilt, the one I thought I'd buried, starts creeping in. Should I have gone? Am I being too harsh? The questions swirl in my head like smoke. But then Nora adds softly, "I don't really want to go anyway. Those parties are boring. You have to wear itchy clothes and smile all the time." Something in me relaxes. How about we go to the park instead? I think the basketball courts will be empty this early. Her face lights up instantly. "Can we get ice cream after?" "Absolutely," I say and mean it. Hours later, we're sitting in a booth at Frosty Lane, sharing a giant chocolate sundae. Nora's giggling, spoon in hand, chocolate smudged on her chin. She's laughing about how she beat me at the game of horse, how the ball bounced off the rim and still somehow went in. Her laughter fills the small ice cream shop, light and clear. And I realize something. I haven't seen her this happy in a long time. Across from us, a woman at the next table smiles. "Would you like me to take your picture?" I hesitate for a second, then hand her my phone. "Sure." She snaps the photo just as we're mid-laugh, both of us messy and carefree. When I look at it later, I can't stop smiling. Our faces are pressed together, our eyes shining. It's not perfect, it's real. No forced smiles, no matching outfits, no pretending. Just us. "I like this way better than a fancy party," Nora says, licking the last of the fudge from her spoon. "So do I tell her quietly. And I really mean it. That night my phone buzzes. A message from Aunt Diane. "You dodged a bullet. Sweet 16 disaster. Total train wreck." I sit down at the kitchen table, curiosity fighting with guilt. Before I can type a reply, the phone rings. Aunt Diane again. I answer. "What happened?" Her laugh crackles through the line. "Where do I even start? They seated your mom right next to the smoke machine. You know how her asthma acts up. She spent half the night coughing and complaining." I can picture it perfectly. Mom fanning the air dramatically, making sure everyone noticed. "Kayla fought with the DJ about every song," Diane continues. "He looked ready to quit right there. And when the bill came," she pauses for effect, "your mom's face went white as the tablecloth. Nobody could look each other in the eye." I twist the dish towel in my hands. How much over budget? Let's just say they were counting on that platinum sponsor money. They even left your seat empty, like they'd saved it for your wallet. A laugh escapes me before I can stop it. It's not cruel, it's relief. I shouldn't be happy about their troubles, I say, though I'm still smiling. "It's not trouble when it's the result of their choices," Aunt Diane replies firmly. It's called consequences. When I hang up, the kitchen feels warm and quiet. Peaceful. For the first time, I don't feel guilty for saying no. A few days later, I'm at work when a shadow falls over my desk. I look up and my stomach drops. Mom stands there in her Sunday dress, clutching her purse. "We need to talk," she says, loud enough that a few coworkers look over. I keep my voice calm. "Mom, this isn't appropriate. I'm working." She plunks her purse down on my desk, covering my spreadsheet. Family comes first. I stand up, guiding her toward the break room before she can make a scene. 10 minutes, I whisper. Inside, she launches into a speech about forgiveness and family, her voice carrying the rhythm of something rehearsed. I recognize pieces of Pastor Jenkins' sermon stitched right into her words. "Speaking of Pastor Jenkins," she says, straightening her pearl earrings, "he called me after service. He's worried about this division between us. He says reconciliation is God's way." I stare into my lukewarm coffee. "Did you tell him why there's a division?" She waves a hand like it's nothing. "Details don't matter when family is involved." "They matter to me," I say quietly. That evening, I find an envelope in my mailbox with no return address. Inside, a note in handwriting I recognize immediately. "Children need their grandmother. Think about what you're doing to Nora." My throat tightens, but I don't cry. Not this time. The next day, Kayla's husband calls. "Just give them what they want, Riley. Peace is worth more than pride." Then the Thanksgiving invitation arrives. Cream cardstock, gold letters, and a handwritten line at the bottom. "Water under the bridge if you contribute $750 for the venue." I place it on the counter next to Nora's school photo. Her smile beams up at me, pure, bright, unharmed by any of this mess. Later that night, after she's asleep, I sit at the table and hold an old family photo in my hands. Christmas 7 years ago. Dad was still with us. Back then we were all smiling. But I remember the fight that broke out minutes later over Mom's credit card bill. My phone sits beside me, her number lit up one tap away. I could call. I could fix this. I could go back. But then I hear Nora's voice in my head. Am I not important enough? I put the photo away and replace it with hers, the girl with the brave little smile who deserves better than what I grew up with. I know exactly what I need to do next. The next morning I wake up before sunrise. The house is quiet except for the hum of the fridge and the soft snore of the cat curled by Nora's door. I pour a cup of coffee, sit at the kitchen table, and open my laptop. No more endless texts. No more arguments that go in circles. I'm done trying to explain myself to people who never wanted to listen. So I start typing. Not an emotional outburst, a record. A clear factual list. Every loan. Every broken promise. Every missed birthday, forgotten favor, and emergency that emptied my savings. Dates, amounts, totals, all of it black and white. When I'm done, I add one last section. Terms for future contact. If they want to reach me, it has to be with respect. No guilt, no shouting, no family duty. Boundaries clear as daylight. It takes me 3 tries to write the final line. This isn't about money. It's about respect. When I finish, I print 4 copies. One for Mom. One for each sister. One for Pastor Jenkins since she dragged him into it. I slip them into envelopes, seal them shut, and walk them to the post office. Certified mail. Proof they can't ignore. As I hand them to the clerk, something inside me loosens, like a rope finally slipping off my neck. 2 days later, a small envelope arrives. This time it's addressed to Nora. She opens it carefully at the kitchen table, glitter spilling from the flap. It's a homemade card covered in stickers and crooked letters. "Sorry I couldn't come. Happy 9th birthday." Inside are $3 bills. "For ice cream," the note says. "I'm saving for a bike, but I wanted you to have this." Nora's eyes light up like Christmas morning. "Mom, can we get ice cream tomorrow?" "Of course we can." She places the card on the fridge with a magnet, straightening it 3 times until it's perfect. "This is the best card ever," she says, skipping down the hall, the $3 clutched tight in her hand. I stand there for a long moment, staring at that little handmade card. $3 from a child saving for a bike. Worth more than every empty promise my family ever made. That night the phone rings. The screen shows Grandma's number. For a second I almost let it go to voicemail. but something tells me to pick up. Maya, you need to fix things. She says right away, no hello, no small talk. Your mother and the girls are fighting like cats since your letter arrived. About what? What else, money, she huffs. Your mother says Kayla pushed too hard with that Sweet 16 nonsense. Kayla says Brittany promised you'd help more. Now they're all blaming each other for driving you away. I close my eyes, that old familiar pressure building behind my temples. For a moment I almost slip back into old habits. Ready to calm everyone down, to mediate, to fix. But I don't. Grandma, I say gently, I'm not responsible for fixing adult relationships. She sighs long and heavy. But you've always been the sensible one. Yes, I say softly, looking toward Nora's bedroom door, where she's playing tea party with her stuffed animals. That's exactly why I'm making a different choice now. I hang up and sit in the quiet. Outside, the wind picks up, brushing against the windows like it's trying to get in. I don't open the door. Instead, I go to the closet and pull out a paint roller. Tomorrow we'll start fresh. A new color for the walls. A new chapter for us. The next weekend, Nora and I stand side by side in the living room. The old beige walls are dull and tired, like they've been holding their breath too long. I dip the roller in soft yellow paint, sunshine in a tray, and press it against the wall. Mom, you missed a spot, Nora says, pointing near the ceiling, her purple t-shirt dotted with paint. Got it, eagle eyes? I laugh, stretching on tiptoe to fill in the gap. What do you think? Better than beige? Way better, she says seriously, her brush swiping at the baseboard. It's like sunshine inside. The front door opens just then, and James from work steps in, carrying a wooden bookshelf under one arm like it weighs nothing. Special delivery, he grins. Where do you want this? By the window, I say. You didn't have to build it yourself. He shrugs. What else would I do with my weekends, watch golf? I laugh, the sound light and free. A few months ago, I would have been tense, worrying what my mother would say about a man helping me. Now, I just let the moment be what it is, kind. Together, we set up the shelf. Later, Nora arranges her books by color while I stand back, admiring the glow of the room. The yellow walls, the light through the window, the sense of peace that no one can take away. The calendar on the fridge catches my eye, movie night written in Nora's wobbly handwriting for Friday, park day for Sunday. No family demands. No guilt. Just our little plans. Mrs. Harper calls later, asking if Nora wants to learn knitting tomorrow. She says I have natural talent. Nora tells me proudly. Then absolutely, I say, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear, leaving a streak of yellow paint on her cheek. She giggles and dots my nose with her paintbrush. Now we match. And we do. For the first time in years, the house doesn't feel like a weight. Feels like home. 2 weeks later, I find myself sitting in one of those tiny folding chairs inside Nora's third-grade classroom. Bright posters cover the walls. Dream big, be kind, never stop reading. Parents line the back wall, smiling as their kids show off projects for Hero Day. Nora stands at the front of the room holding a big poster board titled My Hero in her careful handwriting. Her cheeks are flushed with pride, and I can tell she practiced this moment in the mirror. My hero, she begins, her voice steady and clear, is my mom. A lump forms in my throat before I can even blink. She taught me that love doesn't hurt, Nora says, holding up her poster. 2 stick figures, her and me, stand under a crayon sunset holding hands. For a heartbeat, the whole room is quiet. Then her teacher, Mrs. Langston, starts to clap, and soon everyone joins in. When it's over, Nora rushes to me, eyes bright. Did you like it? I kneel down and hug her tight. More than you'll ever know. That evening, Mrs. Langston sends a note home. It says, Nora seems so much more confident these days. Whatever you're doing, keep it up. I read it twice, then stick it on the fridge next to Nora's drawing and the little glitter birthday card. The door is so full of color and life now. It feels like a gallery of everything we've survived. December sneaks up quietly. Christmas lights glow down our street, and for once they make me smile instead of ache. The mail starts filling with holiday cards. Some are from friends, some from Nora's schoolmates, and then one from Mom. Her handwriting is as familiar as ever. Inside, her words drip with guilt. Families should be together during the holidays. We've all made mistakes. A text from Kayla follows. I miss my niece. Tyler keeps asking about her. Then Brittany sends an email. We're planning a family healing retreat in Arizona. It's time to move past the hurt. At the bottom of the email is a price, $2,300 per person. I laugh so hard I nearly spill my coffee. For the first time, their guilt doesn't stick. Just slides right off. I type one calm message back to all three. We've moved forward. I wish you well. And I mean it. Our Christmas tree stands only 4 feet tall, tucked into the corner by the window. The ornaments are homemade popcorn strings, painted stars, and clay angels Nora made at school. The gifts under the tree aren't fancy. A new sketchbook, colored pencils, a used telescope I found at a yard sale. But they're wrapped with care, each tag written in my best cursive. That night, our house smells like apple cider. Mrs. Harper brings a big pot of it, steaming and sweet. James shows up with a casserole that's more cheese than vegetables, just the way Nora likes it. Aunt Diane drives 3 hours to join us, carrying a tin of cookies and hugs that smell like vanilla. I brought something else, she says, handing me a leather photo album. The first page reads, Our family of 2, in her elegant handwriting. It's beautiful. I whisper, tracing the embossed cover. She smiles. Leave some pages blank. Room to grow. I look around, Mrs. Harper laughing with James, Nora showing off her new sketchbook, Aunt Diane arranging cookies on a plate. The house hums with warmth and laughter that doesn't demand or guilt. For the first time, the word family feels like peace. January comes with soft snow and quiet mornings. I join a single-parent support group at the community center. We sit in a circle, trading stories, laughter, and sometimes tears. I learn how many others have lived this same story, giving until they vanished, then learning how to live again. February brings small changes. Volunteering once a month at Nora's school, helping with bake sales, reading in her class. It's not grand, but it feels right. Uncle Henry sends postcards from his travels. Short notes, funny sketches, words of encouragement. Proud of you, he writes in one. Your dad would be too. Each month feels like we're laying one more brick in something solid and lasting. Our life isn't fancy, but it's ours, built with care, not control. October comes again, gentle and golden. The air smells like cinnamon and leaves, and my little girl is about to turn 10. This year, there's no chaos, no last-minute begging for help, no family promises that crumble like dust. Just quiet joy. We plan something small. A picnic at the park, her favorite chocolate cake, and a handful of real friends who always show up. As I hang streamers under the oak tree, I feel light, almost giddy. Nora helps me arrange paper plates and giggles when the wind catches her hair. This is perfect, Mom, she says, and my heart swells. Then that afternoon the mail arrives. Among the bills and flyers, there's a single envelope with familiar handwriting, Mom's. I pause before opening it. Inside is a birthday card for Nora with a crisp $50 bill tucked neatly inside. The note says, Happy birthday, granddaughter. No strings attached. Love, Grandma. For a moment I just stare at it, unsure what to feel. There's no guilt, no demand, no hidden favor waiting on the other side. Just a quiet gesture. I consider mailing it back, but then I think of what boundaries really mean. They aren't walls. They're doors with locks I control. I decide to keep the card and slide the money into Nora's birthday fund. Progress, not perfection. That night, after the party, after the laughter, the cake, and the hugs from friends who actually came, I sit at the kitchen table with my journal, the one Aunt Diane gave me at Christmas. The pages smell faintly of ink and time. I start writing without really thinking. Real family isn't just who shares your blood. It's who shows up when it matters. I glance up at the photo on our wall, a new one from last weekend's park picnic. It's me and Nora with Aunt Diane, Mrs. Harper, James, and Uncle Henry all around us. Everyone's laughing, sunlit and unposed. Below the photo hangs a small wooden plaque that reads, Our family. The house is quiet now except for the soft hum of the fridge and the rhythmic sound of Nora's breathing down the hall. I close my journal, feeling warmth bloom in my chest. This peace, this steady, safe love, is something I built with my own hands, one hard decision at a time. I walk to Nora's room and peek in. She's asleep, her hair fanned out on the pillow, clutching the little stuffed bunny she's had since she was 2. I brush a strand from her face, whispering, You're home, baby. We both are. Back in the kitchen, I blow out the candle burning on the table. The The room glows for a heartbeat before settling into darkness, calm and sure. For the first time in years, I don't feel like something's missing. I feel whole. Home isn't a place or a family name. It's the peace you make when you finally stop chasing love that hurts. And as I head to bed, I realize I've stopped surviving. I'm finally living. What was your favorite moment? Drop it in the comments below. Don't miss more thrilling stories like this. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload.